Okay, grade 11s. I thought for this graph I would do just a video like this and try and explain this concept of total lung capacity and how our vital volume is kind of calculated, and vital capacity, and all of these concepts that are actually really simple if you just have a look at it, but grade 11s tend to get freaked out by all of these things, and so I thought I'd do a video like this so that we can break it down individually. Okay, so first thing to look at is this concept over here, the total lung capacity. Now, the total lung capacity is the maximum amount of air that you can take into your system. Okay, so this is your total maximum air, which is about 5 liters of air. Okay, so it's about 5 liters is your maximum. That's maximum inhalation as well as everything inside of the air. Okay, then we have what we call the tidal volume over here. Now, tidal volume is simply normal breathing. So you inhale and exhale. Okay, so this is just normal breathing. So it's the amount of air inhaled and the amount of air exhaled. This is referred to as your tidal volume. So that's your basic, just inhaling and exhaling, normal respiration. Okay, so normal respiration, this is your tidal volume, and we can read it off over here. Okay, now depending on obviously the values, let's say this is about 3 liters and this is 4 liters, because if we think about it, this being 5 liters. Okay, so this is obviously not 100% accurate, but we're inhaling and exhaling about 1 liter every breath. Okay, let's just say, because obviously between our 4 liter and 3 liter respiratory rate. But after we've inhaled and exhaled, we have so let's say we've inhaled our normal capacity, so we've inhaled, we then still have the ability to inhale a little bit more. In other words, so we inhale and then we take an extra breath. Okay, this is your inspiratory reserve volume. So this is what you inhale normally over and above what you normally inhale. So this is extra. So this is when you're exercising or when you need bigger breath. So this is that distance from there to there is referred to as your inspiratory reserve volume. So it's reserved in order for you to actually breathe. Okay, then same concept, once we have exhaled, so we now start to exhale. Oh, that pen's dead. We'll use a different pen. Let's use orange. Okay, so we've exhaled, exhaled. We then can exhale almost like if we've finished exhaling, we can then breathe out that last breath. Okay, so that last little breath, this is referred to as your expiratory reserve volume. So after, over and above your inhalation, you can inhale a higher amount. That's your inspiratory reserve volume. And once you've exhaled, you could breathe out that last like breath, that last like everything out. Okay, that's your expiratory reserve volume. Okay, and then we move up back into our tidal volume. So our tidal volume is just normal inhalation, exhalation, inhalation, exhalation. Now, there is another little bit amount of air. This is quite an important concept. This concept over here, this residual volume. This is the air in the lungs. Okay, so there's always a certain amount of air that is always present in the lungs. In other words, the lungs don't completely, you can't get rid of all the air in the lungs. There's a certain amount of air in the lungs always. Okay, it's about 1 liter of air. Okay, our scale's not 100% perfect, so about a 1.5 liter, okay, of air inside of your lungs. Okay, that's always in the lungs. You never get everything out. Now, it's not the same air from the first breath of air that you breathed in when you were born. Okay, obviously it's that it will rotate and you breathe out and breathe in, but you can't breathe out every single bit of your air. There's always a certain amount of air in the alveoli to make sure that the alveoli don't collapse on themselves. So we don't want the alveoli to collapse on themselves, to squash together, because then we wouldn't be able to open them up. That is referred to as your residual volume. So there's a residual volume. Okay, that's the air in the lungs to keep the alveoli open. Okay, so it keeps the alveoli open, so we don't want the alveoli to collapse on themselves. We have the residual volume. Okay, so we've now discussed, so we have our normal tidal volume, normal inhalation, normal exhalation. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, then we've got our inspiratory reserve volume. After we've normally inhaled, we inhale another amount of air, so we have a maximum inhalation. Then we can exhale to normal, and then we can exhale our maximum. That's the last breath that you can exhale. That's your expiratory reserve volume. Now this maximum to minimum, okay? So maximum inhalation, maximum exhalation, that's called your vital capacity. So your vital capacity, that's excluding your residual volume. Why? Because this amount of air always has to be inside of the lungs. So that's your residual volume. This is your vital capacity, maximum exhalation to maximum inhalation. Okay, and then your total lung capacity is the whole thing, everything all together. The residual volume plus your vital capacity equals your total lung capacity. Okay, so there's nothing else with regard to that. I hope this makes it, explains it quite nicely, and we'll talk on the WhatsApp as we go. Cool. Thanks, grade 11s.